Okay, I'm back. I had already made this one, so for the sake of time, I just changed my color. It's the same exact type of yarn, it's just a different color. This is 40, and I went 20 rows across on this one. Do you see? It's, like I said, it was going to be about the size of the hook. So it does get a little wider as you're going. Before it was down here, and as I started crocheting, it just I don't know why that happens. It always gets a little wider, but here we go. So this is going to be the basic form of your bag. We're going to put a little bit of a border at the top with the handle, but right now we're going to stitch up the sides. So the way you're going to do that is wherever you finished, you're going to go ahead and, I think I had chain 2 at the end here. I don't need that. So this is where I finished my stitches for this row, and I'm going to connect it with the back and try to go in the corner, and you're just going to slip stitch. So slip stitch, remember, you're going to put it in the, you already have it here, you're going to go into the corner of the back side, you're going to yarn over, pull through everything, and you're just going to go all the way down doing the same thing. Put it in the stitch, put it in the stitch across the way. You know what, I actually switched sides. Let me do it from this side. So put it into the stitch, put it into the stitch on the other side, yarn over, pull through everything. There we go. Sometimes this gets a little caught up because you're going through a lot of stitches. So put it in the back side, yarn over, pull it all the way through. And you don't have to be so perfect on this. You just have to make sure that there's no gaps. This is just to close up your bag. Put it in, pull through everything. And this is going to be the inside of your bag. So if you're seeing it looking kind of bulky and you're seeing your stitches right there, don't worry about it, because we're going to turn it inside out, and all of this is going to be hidden on the inside. So put it in. Put it into the next one, yarn over, and pull it through everything. Even I struggle sometimes to get through all these stitches. Just go slow. I think I missed one. There we go. And if you have to do one stitch at a time, do that. So you can go like this and pull it through half. Well, that one came all the way through for me. You can pull it through half and then through the other half. This is not always the easiest thing to do, but just go slow and make sure you try to grab every stitch so that when you finish, you don't have any holes where your stuff is going to be falling out of your bag. Just go in through each one all the way down. You can also grab a yarn needle and just sew it, but I like doing it with the crochet hook because I already have the crochet hook attached to the work with the yarn. So I might as well just keep going. And I think it's more secure when you just keep going with the same yarn instead of cutting it and going in with another one. On the other side, we are going to have to cut it when we get to the end here, and then start over on the other side to complete the other side, and it's all sealed up. So again, you're going in, you're going to go like this and close it up. Put it in, yarn over, pull it through. We're almost to the bottom. Put it in, yarn over, pull through everything. Put it in, yarn over, pull through everything. Put it in, yarn over, pull through all of it. Again, almost there. Got like 1 or 2 more stitches to go. Put it in, pull it through, and this should be the last one. Put it in, yarn over, pull through everything, and what you're going to do at the very end when you've reached the bottom is you're going to just do a slip stitch, pull it out like this, give yourself a little bit of room so you can sew that in to make it more secure, and just cut it. Okay, and there you go. Now you're going to do the same thing for the other side. This one's all stitched. On the inside, the outside's going to look like this. See, it's going to hide all the work you did. So it's not gonna look bulky. I mean, if you want that bulky look, you can leave it on this side. Or if you want it to hide it, you just turn it inside out. It's your choice. Now, let's do the other side. So let's start at the top and see how you have this string. This is where you started. If you'd like, you can just tie it to that so that you can just continue. So you could just do a nice little tight. I've done that before. I feel like it makes it more secure. You can even do 2 knots. And that'll all get hidden in your work. Now you just cut off these extra little pieces as close as you can to the knot. Pull in tight. So, and this will be hidden inside the bag. You won't even see it. Okay, so what you can do is you can go into the top stitch and go into the top stitch to the back side. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, just as close as you can so that it's not crooked. So then the first one is just going to be a slip stitch. You're just going to pull it through. Now you're going to keep going all the way down. You're going to put it into the next stitch, put it into this stitch over here, yarn over, and there's that knot. It's going to get hidden in the work. And then pull it through everything. If you get stuck, just pull it with your fingers. That's what I do. It gets stuck, you can go like this and make your loop a little bigger and then put your hook back in. Okay, so the next one, put it in, yarn over, pull through everything. And I just undid my own stitch, see? It gets a little hard. So put it in, yarn over, pull through it all. And if you are having trouble, pull through part of it and then the other part. And if sometimes I see the loop coming through but it didn't come through all the way, I just pull it with my fingers and then I put my hook back in. I'll put it in the back one. And the reason this one's a little harder too, because this is the starting chain. It's not a regular row. This is where you started everything. I keep having trouble where it's falling off the hook and then I just pull the loop with my fingers. So it keeps falling off for me. I just pull the loop with my fingers, put my hook back in, and start the next one. So in, yarn over, pull through all of it. That one completely came out on me. And I've been doing this a long time and I've made a lot of these and I still struggle with this part because it's tight, because it's your first chain. This side is going to be a little tighter than the other side because you're going through your first chain rather than a regular row. Oh, I got it on that one. Okay, kind of. My yarn split a little bit. And it's okay to be imperfect, especially when you're just making it for yourself or for a friend or for a family member. They appreciate that you're doing it for them and they're not going to say anything about a little mistake in your work. If you were selling them, then yeah, you have to be more exact. And I do sell some of my stuff, so I have to be very careful how I do it because I can't have mistakes when it's something that's being sold. But as a gift, if you make a little mistake, don't beat yourself up about it. Just keep going and do the best you can. Okay. And for me right now, it's a little difficult to do this because I'm doing it in front of the camera, so the camera's actually kind of in my way. I don't normally crochet with the camera in front of me, and I'm like hunched over more than I normally am to do a crochet project. Normally I'm just sitting back relaxing. So my yarn's getting a little tangled. Oh, I got that one. And in, I'm almost at the bottom. In, turn over, pull through all of them. In through the side, in through the back, yarn over, pull through all of them. And this should be my last one. In, yarn over, and pull through. And again, you make a slip stitch and leave yourself a little bit of room so you could tie that in and cut. Okay, so there's your little bag. Now, this you can tie in later at the end. Now you're gonna, if you wanna leave this look, this bulky look at the end, you can leave it this way. I like it this way, so I turn it inside out and push out your corners. And I like the way this looks instead, but you're welcome to leave it the other way if you'd like. Okay, now we're gonna do a little border around and put a handle on it. So you're gonna put a slip stitch or a loop on your hook. So there you go. And you can pretty much start anywhere, but I like to start right in the corner so it keeps track of where I'm at. You can work this extra little string into your work to hide it now, or you can just sew it in later. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna worry about it, and I'll sew it in. So I'm gonna do a slip stitch to connect my work. And now we're going to single crochet. You're gonna go all the way around in every stitch and do a single crochet. Remember, single crochet, you just don't yarn over first. You just put it in the stitch, yarn over, pull through. And I have a big hole here. Obviously, I might have missed something, so I'm just gonna kind of skip it and it'll make it a little tighter. So I'm just kind of going under the loop, under each one. You just wanna make kind of a little tight row all the way around to give your little bag a little more reinforcement. That's what this single crochet is. And then this is gonna turn into your strap, and I'll show you how that's gonna happen in just a minute. I'm gonna pause the video for just a second. I'm gonna go all the way around and then I'll come back. Okay, I almost went all the way around, so I wanted to just show you how we go on to the next row. And when you're putting it into this row, you're not putting it into a row, really. You're putting it into the ends of the row when you were creating the bag. So you're not gonna have exact stitches. Just kind of try to measure your stitches evenly apart. So don't put one stitch here and then another stitch way over here. I would just create a stitch right here. So they're kind of even stitches all the way around. So this is where I started, and I'm gonna go around, let's see. Now, instead of closing off my row, I'm gonna do what's like a spiral. I'm just gonna go into the first stitch that I started over here. Now you do have stitches, and just keep going. And I'm gonna do one more row like this all the way. But now you have your row. See your little V's? Now you have it because you created a single crochet row. So don't miss any. Go all the way around and go into each one and do another single crochet. So you go in, yarn over, pull through two. Go into the next one, yarn over, pull through two. You're in, you have two on your hook, pull through two. So we're doing singles now. Okay, so we'll do one more all the way around, and you can do as many as you want and many rows as you want with this. If you want to make a big thick border across the top, or if you want to make it thin. I'm just going to do two just for the sake of time so that I can get this done. And I'm also kind of running out of yarn, so I don't want to make it too big that I end up running out of yarn and not being able to finish. That's always, that's called yarn chicken, I think, like when you play chicken. So it's yarn chicken. So you're trying to finish your project before you run out of yarn. And that has happened to me. I've gone to the end of my project and been just short, and that's horrible when that happens. But also I've gone to where I finished a project and I only had about an inch of yarn left, so that's always very satisfying. Okay, so now this is where I started. If you see now, it's 2 rows of single crochet. I started over here, and if you want, you can, to remember, you can put a yarn marker. Like I told you before, you don't have to be fancy. You can just put a piece of yarn in a different color, just stick it in there. Or you can put a safety pin, a paper clip, whatever you want to mark your clips. You don't have to have the fancy yarn markers, but they do sell them. They're not fancy, they're not that expensive, but sometimes you just don't have those. I usually never buy those, so I just put whatever I have. I kind of know where I'm at, so I didn't put a yarn marker. I know that I just finished the front of it, and now I'm going to go all the way back around to finish the second row. I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I will come back and show you how to start the handle. Okay, I made it all the way around again, so now I have 2 rows of single crochet all the way across the top. And remember, I didn't close off the row and then start a new row. I just kind of did a spiral. I kept going, and I'm going to continue to do that spiral, but this time I'm going to add the handle. So what I'm going to do is measure to see how wide this is. So it is, and I have my measuring tape upside down for you guys. Let's see, let me put it the right way. It's 7 inches. So I think I'm gonna go start my handle about 1 inch in on each side. And you can mark that. I'm gonna use this row here. Let me get a bit of this other yarn, the pink yarn I started with. I'm gonna cut a couple little pieces to let me know where to start. Actually, you need 4 pieces because you need handle. You're going to do a handle on the front and a handle on the back. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the pink yarn that's a contrasting color so that I can see it as I'm going around. So about 7 inches, so about at 6. So I'll put it here. You can take your hook off for a second, just pull it through. About at 6 inches, so I'm at where the 6 is, or 1 inch in from the end. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah, about there. Okay, let me do it from the back. So about here, I'm going to put a marker. And this is just to help me remember where to start the handle. And then over here on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing, about 1 inch in. So about there. Oh, we'll say there. I'll put it in, pull a little bit through. And this is just to remind me where my handles are going to be. I'm just going to do a small handle. Okay, and then you turn it. And you could do a long handle. You can keep going super long, but I chose to do a small one. So again, about 7 inches, so at about 6. Or you can just measure it up with the one behind it. So I'm going to put one here to remind me that that's where my handle is starting. Okay, and about 1 inch over here. A lot of times I don't do these, I just eyeball it, but because I'm doing this video for you guys so you guys can understand how to do it, I'm gonna do it a little more precise. Okay, so about here. Okay, so that means that I'm going to crochet in here, and then I'm going to start a handle. Let me show you how we do that. So we're over here where we finished going the 2 rows. I'm only going to single crochet up to the marker, and then I'm going to do a chain and connect it over here. Let's see how many chains I need to do. So I'll kind of measure it out on my hand and see how it feels to where I want it. So we're in this stitch, so we're going to go single crochet, just going to keep going. You're not going to end your row. You're just going to keep going around in a spiral. So single crochet, single crochet, and then I'm going into the stitch that has the marker, single crochet. Now, instead of going into the next stitch, I'm going to skip all of this all the way to this marker by doing a chain. Let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see if that works. I think this might be too short. Yeah, it's a little too short. So let's do 20. I just go until I feel like the strap is as long as I want it to be, because I'm just doing a strap that's long enough for my hand to fit in. You can do it longer. You can do it as long as a crossbody strap. You could do anything you want, but you need to follow the same way of doing it. Let's do another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 20 total. I think that'll work. Yeah, because I'm just doing a small strap that my hand can go into. So you're going to put it into the same stitch where you have the marker over here. And you're going to stick it in only on the top. Don't put it through the bottom, just the top of the bag. And slip stitch it into there. Okay, actually you can do a single crochet. So you pull it through, pull it in, and then you're going to do a single crochet right there. And then you're going to go all the way around until you get to the stitch marker that you made on the back. So you're just doing single crochets all the way around. And once you finish this process of doing the chain for your strap, you can take those stitch markers out. You only need them until you get there, until you have your chains created. Okay, so I'm going around, couple more stitches right here, and now I'm going into the stitch that has the marker on the back. And so put it in, do a single crochet. Now, because I chained 20 over here on this side, I'm going to do the same thing over here. So chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, and I'm gonna go connect it with a single crochet where I have this marker on the other side. So go ahead and pull it through and do a single crochet. And now you can do 2 or 3 rows of single crochet, but let me show you what you do when you get to the chain. So, and at this point you could pull out these markers. I'll leave them there, but the markers were mostly just to show you where the straps were going to start. So we're going to go around and do single crochet. Make sure you go in every stitch all the way around. And when you get to the chain, I'm going to show you what to do. So I'm going all the way. Right now I'm on the side of the bag. If you see, here's where the stitching was, where we sewed it up the side, or where we crocheted it up the side. Okay. And here's the stitch where we connected. Now we're going to do single crochets in the chain. Okay, so we're going to skip all of this. We're going to go into the chain. So you're just going to keep going around. So you're going to go into each chain, and you can count them if you want. There should be 20 stitches. You're going to go into every single chain all the way around. It's a little bit more difficult because you're going into a chain instead of a regular stitch. You're going to go all the way around, and right now your strap is going to start forming and getting thicker. You can make it as thick as you want. You can go around as many times as you want, but just make sure you do the same amount on one side that you did on the other. Do not do, because if you do 2 rows on one side and 3 rows on the other side, it's going to look weird because one strap is going to be wider than the other strap. So I'm just going around into the chain and putting one in every, and you can count them. I'm not counting, but I pretty much know where my stitches are. Even I struggle into chains. Going into a chain sometimes is one of the hardest things to do because they're skinny and they roll around in your fingers sometimes. I'm almost there. I'm just going into all the chains, and I'm going to keep going around and then go into the chain on the back. So let me finish this off camera, and then I'll come right back once I get back to the back side of this on the other side of the bag. I came back sooner because I want to show you what you do right here at the end of the chain. So I'm at the last chain. I'm going to do my single crochet, and then you're just going to go right into the first stitch of the bag and start going around. So all single crochet. This whole top part of the bag is single crochet. You're going to keep going around and see how it's forming a nice little border on the top. It just makes it look more finished. So I'm coming around. Now I'm at the chain for the back chain, the one on the back of the bag, and it's still just a chain. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a single crochet all the way across, and then I'm going to keep going around. I think I'll probably go in maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe 2 rows. You can make it thicker, but I'm just for the sake of the video, I'm probably only going to do 2. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and I'm going to go single crochet all into the back chain, single crochet around, and then keep going and do another single crochet into the back strap, and then come back around. And I would want to stop here because that will be 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Okay, and then but you can keep going. Like I said, if you want to make a thicker strap, I'm not making a very thick strap on this. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I finished the back chain and went all the way around, and I'm back to the front chain again, or the front handle, and I just start going up. You just go continuously. I'm going to do one more row all the way around, and I'm going to try to stop here because this is where I started. You could put a stitch marker. I took the stitch markers out that I had here to identify my strap, but if you want, you can put a stitch marker here to remind you that's where you stop, and that's where you're going to stop your bag. But you can do as many rows as you want, and you can make your chain longer. Like I said, I did 20. You can do 30, 40, 50 if you want to put it over your shoulder. If you want to make it over a crossbody bag, you can do like 100 chains for your strap. You choose, and then you can make it as wide as you want as well. So I chose, I'm going to do 2 and stop. And that's only because I want to finish showing you the finished product. I had a issue with the first part of this video that I made where when I paused it, my phone went to black and that video stopped. So you guys are going to challenge my iMovie skills, see if I can blend these 2 videos, and if I can't, there will be a part 1 and a part 2. It just depends on how I'm able to figure that out. I'm not super familiar with iMovie, but I know it does. You can blend videos, so I'm gonna try it. But if you see that there's a part 1 and a part 2, that's because I was not able to figure it out. Maybe one of you guys can show me how to do it once we get Start Crochet Club, because I think you guys are probably more knowledgeable than I am on technology. So anyways, here we go. That's what my final strap is going to look like on this side. I'm going to go around to the beginning so that both straps look the same. Right now this strap is skinnier because it only has one single crochet row. This has two. Normally I do 3 or 4, but just for this video I only did 2 rows. And if you see, here's the border on it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on, and I will meet back up with you guys right now when I finish all the way around. Okay, so here we have the finished product. Like I said, I only did 2. You could make it thicker and go 3 or 4. I normally do about 3 or 4, but for this video I only did 2. And there you go. Your straps are about the same size. They should be, and they fit my hand. This would be a cute little bag to carry, whatever, a notebook or something. It's not very big. It's just a small bag, but you can make it as big as a beach bag and do whatever you like. Now I stopped right here at the end. I could tell this was the end because here, and then also I know it's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines and 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So I know that I did 4 rows on each. So if I kept going, this one would have 5 and this one would have 4. So I know where to stop by the look of where the seam is, and also count your rows on each side and don't go past that. Now I'm gonna go ahead, I got to the very end. I like to put an extra stitch, an extra chain in there just like that to make it a little more secure. And then pull your string, cut it, and then you could just go back with your needle and sew in this, just sew it into your work. You have this one, we tied this one, so there's this one here where you started the thing, and you have a couple on the inside to sew. So don't forget, go back and sew them all in, and then you have a bag, and you can do any size bag that you like. I stopped at 2 here because first of all, because of the time I have to make this, and also because I was running out of yarn. That also kind of sometimes makes your choice as to what you do based on what is going on. So I'm moving the camera around so you could see. I have the old one. I didn't even finish that one because I knew I already had this one complete. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if I'm able to figure out iMovie, this will be one long video. If I'm not, it'll be a part 1 and a part 2. I'll see you guys around the school. I'm going to be working there next week, and hopefully you guys can stop by and say hi. All right. Talk to you later, girls. Bye.